Hey guys, welcome back to RL Design Innovation. My name's Brian, and today we have a unique project, at least to me. I found a cutting board when cleaning up some stuff. This was my grandmother's, whose was my great-grandmother's. So this is about 100 years old. As you can see, it's been used many, many times. I'm sure my grandmother and my great-grandmother used it to cut a lot of chickens and fish, not in vegetables. What I'm going to do today is just really fancy this up a little bit. I'm going to engrave my grandmother's name on here, her, the birth date, the year she passed away, just as a remembrance. So when I'm not here, my kids and grandkids can look at this and say, hey, this was their great, 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 great grandma, or whichever. So we're going to take care of that today. As you can see, I really didn't do a lot of sanding on it because I wanted to have that natural wear and tear that was used on it. I just sanded a little bit over here because, so you can see it, it looked like at some point it cracked and they put glue. Probably used an Elmer's glue because I don't think they knew about wood glue. But regardless, we're going to try engraving on this, add a little memento for the future generations. So sit back and let's learn something new today and have some fun. Let's get going. Okay, I brought up LightBurn 2.1.03. It just upgraded today. I put the cutting board inside the bed, and if you notice, I put it horizontally. That's because our laser, when it engraves, it generally goes left to right, right to left. So I wanted to try to have the engraving follow the grain of the wood to see if that would be better, especially since there's some glue in here. You can see the glue marks in here. Now, my grandmother loved African violets. She had a room in her apartment, and that's all she had was like tons and tons of African violets. That was her thing. And a little bit about her, she was a stern woman. She worked her way up in the union, where she first started by opening envelopes and a mail stuffer, and she worked her way up to being a union leader, which in those days, especially for women, was something that was unheard of. And as we go through this, I'll tell you a couple other stories. So I did a quick search on the internet and I found some African violets. Let me bring them in real quick. Okay, here's one I'm bringing in. And we're going to turn it after. Then there was another one. Let me get the other one. And we have this one as well. So again, we're going to rotate these first, and we'll change the sizing and things like that after we rotate it. It looks pretty good there. I think I'm going to do right here. I'm going to duplicate this. I think I'm going to do two of these. So Control C, Control V. And actually, before I do that, let me rotate it so we get the exact angle. Let's see, rotate about here. And maybe we'll put it right around one right here. Maybe we'll change the angle, whichever. And again, we're working horizontally. Let's see, that's the flower. We'll have one go like this, maybe. Have one go over here. And you could do whatever you like. I'm not going to go crazy with this cutting board because the main thing is the cutting board. I want people to see a lot of the cutting board and its use. Make that a little bigger. I think this one will go just about here. And you could put a border on here. Maybe I'll put a little circle to etch around the little hole in the wood. The next thing I want to do is add some text. And again, her name was her name was Belle Goldstein per se. I called her obviously Grandma. You can see that it's still engraving. It's just about done. But as you can see, there are some areas that the engraving worked really well on and others that it really didn't take. You have the image, and that's because, again, this board is probably about 100 years old from my great-great-grandma, and my grandmother used it. So it's probably been saturated with many types of oils, but it'll give us the effect and the information that we want for today and for future generations. What I'm going to do when this is done, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put a clear coat, a spray lacquer on it just to preserve it and finish it because this will never be used again for cutting foods. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the finish and then what the next upcoming projects are. All right, so as you can see, the engraving, it's hard to see with the camera. You can see it we'll say in life per se, you can see a little of an engraving over here of a flower. The same with here, but it's hard to see. Even over here on the video, you can see over here it did some more details, which is not coming out through the video. Over here, it really just burned away from the wood to give you the shaping. And again, this board was probably so saturated with oil over the years. What came out important was the naming, Grandma Belle Goldstein, 1910 to 1997. Again, I don't think you're making it out very well. Maybe if I bring it up a little bit, there you go. You could see it. What's interesting though, looking at the wood, and you're not going to see it too much, but if you go on an angle, you may be able to see there are so many cuts in this wood from being used over the years. You can tell it's very old just by the crackings and again, looking at it that way, you can see all the old cuts in here from when they cooked with it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. We're going to be having some more videos coming up. I just refurbished my wood lathe, I mean, from the bearings and up. So we're going to do a turn project. I just got my chainsaw up and running, cut some more wood. So we're going to do probably a platter next time or maybe some cup holders or something like that. I haven't decided yet. But more to come. Please subscribe, thumbs up. I hope you learned something today, at least about my grandmother, but taking something that's in your family for generations and then putting something on it so they know who it came from and they have a little history of the family. Till next time, thanks so much. Bye bye.